Shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rachak Kudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. So I wanted to make a video about all the guns that are in the streets. Not all of them, obviously, but a good portion of them. A good portion of the reason why they're in the streets, why people have them that shouldn't, so on and so forth. And all of this relates to prophecy because the Bible talks about how people are going to be having swords in their hands. And the modern day sword is the gun. A sword is just a killing instrument, and the killing instrument or killing tool, device that's being used today is the gun. And during the time of Jacob's trouble, it's going to be your average everyday citizen that has it. People are loading up on them right now. I think there's a statistic in America, something like there's 3 guns to like every citizen, maybe even more, I don't know. But as we can see from this article, the title says, shot by a civilian wielding a police gun. It says, our investigation found that more than 52,000 police guns have been involved in crime since 2006. Many of those weapons were resold by law enforcement agencies sworn to protect the public. So, of course, the article goes into a story of this lady named Candace Lewis who lost her son due to a police gun that was in the streets, basically. And, of course, he got shot by it. So what we're going to do is just watch maybe 2 minutes of this, and they're going to explain it, and then we'll grab some precepts. All of this is prophecy, of course, leading up to Jacob's trouble, and that's why I'm bringing this out in the spirit.
You know, another family lost another child at the hands of a firearm that shouldn't even be on the streets. It shouldn't even be on the streets.
Candace Leslie's only child died 3 years ago, shot 4 times outside his apartment.
We desensitized to just another black child being murdered. Yeah, it's just common.
From the scene, detectives gathered a gun involved in Cameron's death, but police have made no arrest.
I'm losing trust in the people who's supposed to protect and serve us.
But what Candace didn't know, until we told her, was that a weapon involved in her son's death here in Indianapolis was a former police weapon from a sheriff's office more than 2,300 miles away. Using public records, CBS News traced a gun involved in Brown's death, a Glock 21 handgun, to a sheriff's office in Stanislaus County, California.
There's no reason for police firearms to be in the hands of teenagers.
I would say to Cameron's mom, I'm very sorry for your loss, but my organization had nothing to do with it.
Stanislaus County Sheriff Jeff Dirksey told CBS News Los Angeles he makes no apologies that his department sells its used service weapons.
Whoever did this, if he didn't acquire that gun, he's probably going to go acquire another one.
Dirksey says he saved taxpayers $25,000 last time he traded in about 650 guns. The department updates its arsenal every 7 to 10 years.
I mean, it's a legal transaction. I mean, I'll go back to what would it, so if I legally sold my old used patrol cars and somebody uses that in the commission of a crime, is that our responsibility? I would say no.
His department is one of more than 140 law enforcement agencies nationwide we found offloading their used weapons to gun stores.
So this is about 220 Smith & Wesson M&P 40Cs that just came in as police trade-ins.
And those stores advertise the gun's police history as a selling point.
So what you end up with are quality firearms in really good condition.
During a 16-year time period ending in February 2022, the ATF traced 52,529 former police service weapons to crime somewhere in America. On average, that's more than 3,200 guns every year, 9 every day.
Yeah, so we're going to pause right there. 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes. So as you can see, and that's just tracing back to 2006, a little over 52,000 former police guns were involved in crimes since 2006 up to 2022, I believe they said. And that one traveled all the way from California to Indianapolis. Shot a dude 4 times, killed him. Probably broad daylight too. And you heard what the Edomite sheriff said. Well, I mean, I get it, but he was probably going to buy another gun anyway. Like, damn. Not remorseful at all. Well, I mean, it sucks that he died, but our county had nothing to do with it. Our department had nothing to do with it. And that's Esau for you, just prideful, not remorseful. He don't care at the end of the day. He doesn't care what happens. But of course, who's buying these guns? I'm sure Esau is buying it, but primarily Jake, I'm sure. Getting a hold of it, doing what they're not supposed to be doing with it. The curse is upon us, so it is what it is. These things are going to happen. But the reason why I'm bringing this out is because of prophecy anyway, right? When we talk about Jacob's trouble, 2nd Ezra 15 gives us a very clear description of how it's going to be. And I say clear because you're supposed to read it and then visualize, right? Even though there's going to be so many more things happening that's not told here, this allows us it paints a picture for us. And it's telling us that firearms are going to be a big, I'm going to use the word talking point of Jacob's trouble, right? It's going to be very significant. So 2nd Ezra 15, verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. The word woe here just represents some kind of destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you have to understand that Esdras, he lived during the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. So when he got this vision, he saw guns. He saw a killing tool, killing instrument. But the best way for him to describe it was to use the killing instrument that he was aware of at that time. And the only vocabulary he had was that killing instrument, which is a sword. So that's what he said. There were no guns at this time. So he saw guns and he said, well, these people are fighting and they have swords in their hands. And that's what he was saying to represent guns. The modern killing instrument is a gun. And now we're seeing one of the reasons why there's so many out here in the streets. Of course, you got agents, and you look it up and go into documentaries, different people, government officials, whoever, dropping them off in different hoods and stuff. But this also plays a part as well. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, your government, your policemen, your senate, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So whatever people want to do is what they're going to do. That's what you call lawless society. And a lawless society is represented by one word, and that's anarchy. Anarchy, the etymology of that word anarchy means no rule. No rule in society. It's lawless. People are doing whatever they want. Killing, robbing, just whatever. Just running around, going buck wild. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So cities are going to be quarantined. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So we're coming into a very, very terrible time. It's going to get bad out here in the streets. That's why we make these videos. That's why we talk about prophecy, so that you understand what time that we're living in, what time we're quickly coming into. So now you build up your faith in the Lord. You strengthen your spirit, strengthen your resolve in the Lord to lean on him in any situation, no matter what it is. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, the gun, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Lack of bread is called famine. Famine is coming back, and whenever there's famine, what follows it very quickly is always cannibalism. So that's coming too. So we're talking about famine, great tribulation, murdering, stealing, people running up in your houses, looting and rioting, out in the streets, just going buck wild. It's going to be a bad time that we're coming into. And we can see the scriptures talking about the sword, mentioned it a few times here, about 3 different times here in these few verses. And now we see why, after that precept, why there's so many swords, so many guns out here in the streets. You got these different sheriff offices, police departments, and they're just reselling or trading in their old guns, I guess. The dude said they re-up every 7 or 9 years, I don't know. And they're just selling it to these stores, and they sell it to the public, to people, I guess, legally, so they say, that are able to purchase it. But that's a gun in the hand of a civilian that doesn't need it at the end of the day. And these people buying guns, they're not just buying one. They're buying 3, 4, probably 5 guns. These people that buying guns, like, they love that crap. Like, they want plenty. And you got certain Edomites now, I'll say, they're stocking up because they know something is coming. Got all these videos online, and they showing it. They're like, yeah, we see it. And they showing off all their equipment, what they got. That's what these doomsday preppers are also doing. They not saying nothing, no, not a lot of them, but they prepping up on weapons too. This is how they getting them. It's a big way of how they're getting them. Let me jump over to the book of Matthew real quick. Matthew 24. I'm gonna jump down. We know what this talks about. Wars and rumors of war. Talks about earthquakes in diverse places. Right? All these are the beginning of sorrows, it says. Now, when you jump down to 21, Matthew 24 and 21, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation." That's what we just read, right? Right here, 2 Ezra 15, verse 19. "Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." We jump back, and that's why these things are coming. Matthew 24 and 21. "For then shall be great tribulation." So we're reading about the same exact time. We're talking about Jacob's trouble here. "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of this world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." So the time that we're coming into, known as Jacob's trouble, and I've quoted it a few times, but all you have to do is read Jeremiah 30, verse 7. And that's where it talks about it. Jacob's trouble is going to be a time that never was nor shall be. It's going to be the worst time that this world has ever seen. And this is a part of the reason why the Lord gave us these signs, so that we could have an opportunity to build up our spirit, strengthen our hands and our knees, to be able to walk, honestly in that day, stand strong and firm, having faith in the Lord. We have prophecies, so we know the signs of Yahushua is coming, and also so we can be built up at the end of the day, right? So we're coming into a very, very bad time. Let me see. That's it. I'm gonna end it right there. No need to read anymore. Those 2 precepts made the point. So, Lord's will, this was edifying to the elect. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem Kudash, the belongers to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.